A massive hit by the Speed Blaster, and huge hit, and Rare Flow is tossed off the field. Hammered Coupe lives up to its reputation, knocks Bone Blazers completely up in the air to the height of 8. It's that time again, the Junkyard Joust main event. It starts now. 30 teams are going to go head to head to decide who is the champion of this season of Junkyard Joust. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda, and here are the first 10 teams that are going to be battling it out, including Massive Transit, last season's champion. Let's take a quick look at our teams. Metal Machines squeaked through their qualifier with 1 survivor. They've got something to prove tonight. Drive-Thru Demons made it through their qualifier with 3 vehicles left. They are definitely one to keep an eye on. Hired Muscle pulled some serious stunts in their qualifier, and they were looking pretty solid. Soylent Green survived their qualifier with just Creature from the Black Lagoon left. They are sponsored by Buldamoosh. Crimson Crashers have been around since Season 1, and this is looking like one of their best teams so far. Indigo Ice Picks have been trying to find their rhythm since Season 1 when they won the championship. They're hoping they can pull something off tonight. Oops All Boats had 3 boats remaining in their qualifier, and they are looking like a tough team to eliminate. Also surviving their qualifier with 3 left, the Thunderlords were looking very good. The wideness of the wide body snatchers keeps them on the track. They had 1 left at the end of their qualifier. Massive Transit blew the competition off the track in the finals last season, and they've got a brand new member, Trash Basher. This thing looks ready to bash. Those are the teams. It's time to head out to the Junkyard and joust. Starting us off, it's going to be Captain America for the Thunderlord, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. The running order of the teams is randomly determined, but the teams get to decide what car to send down when it's their turn. Up first for Hired Muscle, it's the Retro Rig, sponsored by Beak's Busted Barn Finds. Sideways or upside down at the end of the round is out. Right side up, you get to go again. We go until there are 3 teams remaining. Massive Transit going to start off with a bang. Trash Basher, sponsored by Sicken. Trash Basher manhandles the Retro Rig, knocks it right off the track. Trash Basher apparently with some sort of mechanism that lifts dumpsters, I assume, and that thing is keeping it steady on the track right now. The car that proved itself an asset for the wide body snatchers, custom Chevy Nova, sponsored by Sicken. A heavy hit from the Chevy Nova, and we've got our first elimination in this main event. And it's a tough one for Hired Muscle. Retro Rig showed a lot of surprising agility in its qualifier. The first main event already turning savage. Skull Crusher's up now for the Ice Picks, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. Skull Crusher slips underneath the Chevy Nova, pushes it straight up in the air, but the Chevy Nova is good at balancing, comes back down on the track, though not in a stable position. Here comes Lightning Speed for the Drive-Thru Demons, sponsored by Jedi. A nice gentle slide into position, and Lightning Speed takes out another vehicle that was never eliminated in the qualifiers. That's gonna be it for the Chevy Nova. Wow, another tough elimination here. Buffalo for the Metal Machines, sponsored by Hey Steve Productions. Buffalo forces both vehicles in front of him off the track. Skull Crusher and Lightning Speed both make nice recoveries though. No eliminations on that hit. Soylent Green gonna send down their starter ramp, so to speak. It's the Swoop Coupe. Good time for it. Swoop Coupe manages to lock it in and set up a nice little ramp. Here's a vehicle that can survive just about any ramp. It's the Sea Rescue Boat, sponsored by Sicken.
What up?
Baby Cookie abandons ship, and Sea Rescue Boat makes a spectacular recovery as usual. Sea Rescue Boat took Shark Attack all the way to 5th place in the finals last season. Oops All Boats definitely gunning for the finals again here. Here's the team to look out for. Sabre starting us off for the Crimson Crashers. Looks like Sicken made some good sponsorship picks this season. Sabre hits the ramp and flips around and lands right in the garbage. Somehow Sabre just flops upside down in the back of Trash Basher, and yep, Trash Basher's gonna have to take out the trash on Sabre. That's certainly something I did not expect to see happen in this match. Spider Machine's gonna take a shot at Swoop Coupe, sponsored by Chone. Spider Machine lofts Swoop Coupe into the air, almost into the dumpster with Sabre, but Swoop Coupe manages to avoid it, still lands upside down and out. Meanwhile, Buffalo is now in danger underneath the prongs of Spider Machine. 66 Pontiac GTO, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. 62 grams of power does some damage. Buffalo flies up in the air, goes upside down. Spider Machine goes under Trash Basher, and Trash Basher having that load in the back, probably helping him stay on the track, and that prop on the left. And now we're gonna see some damage. Fuel and Fire, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Fuel and Fire slams into the line. Spider Machine gets pushed all the way down the line and survives, somehow skidding underneath Trash Basher. The GTO's also underneath Trash Basher. No eliminations on that hit, but man, that was a good one. 70 Chevy Chevelle, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. The Chevelle plows into Fuel and Fire, can't really get a whole lot going. A little bit of shifting. Trash Basher is definitely in danger here. Power Rocket for the Ice Pick, sponsored again by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Power Rocket pushes into the Chevelle. The Chevelle is definitely going off the track. It's just a matter of time. Buffalo slides down a little farther, no recovery there. Backburner for the Drive-Thru Demon, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Backburner, a nice hit, and the Chevelle manages to make a recovery, backs off the track, pushing Power Rocket underneath Fuel and Fire. Massive Transit got a couple vehicles in danger right now. And here's Flare, also sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Flare slams into the line, not a whole lot of movement, a little jostling, and locks it in. Here comes the 59 Cadillac Ambulance for Soylent Green, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. The Cadillac marches the line forward. Backburner now getting pushed up a little bit, and Fuel and Fire and Trash Basher are definitely in trouble right now. SRN 6 Hovercraft, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Hovercraft bump and pushes Backburner off the track. Backburner actually slips, looks like it's gonna go sideways, and then makes a recovery. Bisector for Crimson, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Bisector takes a shot at the hovercraft. The hovercraft spins over to a recovery. Flare right now is looking a little iffy, getting closer to sideways. Wonder if that hovercraft is full of eels. Dr. Strange for the Thunderlord, sponsored by Ellis Wertenberger. Dr. Strange works his magic on Bisector, and Bisector is done. Flipped over upside down. No chance to absorb that hit. Probably not going to recover from that, but look at this. Highly unlikely recovery is happening for Buffalo over here. After all that tossing around upside down, Buffalo might just make a recovery. Mustang Boss 302, sponsored by Judy Collins. The Mustang Boss was the boss of its qualifier. Amazing work it did in that match, and this time it pushes the line forward and puts the kibosh on the Trash Basher, and maybe Sabre will have a chance to escape out the back of that thing. Custom VW for Massive Transit, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Engage. Captain Picard was along for the ride, but ejects from the top of the Custom VW and lands on top of Mustang Boss, I think. It's hard to see now. These semis are starting to pile up. Oh, there he is. Yep, over by Mustang Boss. And no eliminations on that hit. A lot of these cars doing a good job of staying alive, including Fuel and Fire. IMSA Mustang, sponsored by Emo Dingo. The IMSA slams into the wall of that VW and can't go anywhere. Here comes Sonic, sponsored by Farty Marty. Sonic gets right under that IMSA, pushes it up. IMSA stays on, wide body, doing it some good balance work right there, but I don't think it's going to stay on for long. Here comes a hit from the Dark Rider, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Dark Rider does a little of the old over easy on IMSA, flips it over upside down to Cook, and it's done. Still on its side, maybe a chance of recovery for that thing, we'll see. Nitro Rider for the Metal Machine, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Nitro Rider slams into Dark Side, pushes the line forward. Sonic's getting under that VW. This could be curtains for that custom VW. The Gallant Eterna, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. The old classic Gallant makes a nice hit into that line, gets right off the track, or almost off the track, couldn't quite escape. VW gets knocked over. Gallant is going to be responsible for that elimination, and Dark Rider escapes. Massive Transit in trouble in this match right now. Looks like our new Klingon friend has decided to ride down in the rescue boat for Oops All Boats, sponsored by Woeful Fiber Art. Rescue boat dumps off the Klingon on the track and then gets completely out of there, tries to escape. Well, I don't know what that Klingon was expecting to happen, but yep, this is Junkyard Joust, and now you're about to get squished. That just doesn't look like a comfortable position to take a hit. Iron Man for the Crashers, sponsored by Chemical Knight. Iron Man drives over the Klingon, knocks him off. Kind of a nice hit there. Didn't do too much damage to that Klingon. Oh, takes out Gallant Eterna on the way and then leaps over all the cars, drives over all of them, and then actually lands in a position that could be counted as eliminated. It's close. We'll see what happens. There's the Klingon relaxing now, finally off the track. Thor, sponsored by Judy Collins. Thor puts the hammer down on Nitro Rider. Nitro Rider, nice little escape there, although definitely close to sideways. I don't think that's going to count as out. Nice looking car here, the 69 Chevelle SS396, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. The Chevelle pushes Sonic forward under Mustang Boss. Not exactly a good result for Hired Muscle right there. But Mustang Boss is pretty wily, survived worse. Speed Blaster, the hero of last season, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Big blast by Speed Blaster pushes the line way forward. We got a lot of cars going up in the air. I don't see any eliminations on that hit, but it definitely loosened things up. Chevy Pro Stalker for the wide body snatchers, sponsored by Farty Marty. The Stalker tries to get under Speed Blaster, but Speed Blaster is not having it. Goes farther down the line. Still no eliminations on that hit. Maybe Forward Force can break up the line, sponsored by Chome. Forward Force cannot do it. Hits the line solid, and we're starting to back up a little bit. This has been known to happen in main events fairly frequently. The cars get backed up pretty far back towards the hill. Afterblast for the Drive-Thru Demon, sponsored by Farty Marty. Afterblast takes out Forward Force, knocks Forward Force forward, and then Forward Force falls sideways. Can't quite make a recovery, gets lodged in there next to Nitro Rider, and that might be a loss for the Ice Picks. Typhoon for the Metal Machine, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. Typhoon washes Afterblast off the track and pushes the Stalker a little bit over. Backside of Speed Blaster's coming off the track, and a little incremental movement up front. Roadster Bite for Soylent Green, sponsored by Price X Private Parts. Roadster Bite with a solid undercut under Typhoon, pushes Typhoon partially off the track, starts to get under Speed Blaster, but still no eliminations. It's been a little while. Seafire for the boat, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Seafire smashes Typhoon off the track. Typhoon making a nice spinning turn and keeps its balance, stays upright, and Seafire stays on the track. Kind of surprising, actually. Oops, what did I say about staying on the track? Not for long, I don't think. It's Solaire, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Ooh, wow, Solaire can actually get under Seafire and just knock Seafire up on Roadster Bite, but it doesn't really make any difference. Solaire is now in position to start carving out the line. Here comes Spider-Man with the push, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Spider-Man does push the line, but Speed Blaster's holding it up, and the cars can't really go anywhere. They're piling up a little bit, but there's just a bit of a logjam on the track right here. Even Solaire can't get through it. 71 Dodge Challenger RT, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. The Dodge Challenger knocks Spider-Man right off the back of Solaire, flips Spider-Man over, and that's balancing pretty precariously. Could still maybe mount a recovery from that position. Copter Chase for Massive Transit, sponsored by Jedi. And that'll move Solaire down the line successfully, finally. Speed Blaster tries to get out of the way. Roadster Bike goes up in the air, but comes back down. Looks like it's right side up. 75 Cobra 2 Racer, sponsored by Price X Private Parts. The Racer kicks the line forward just a little bit. Spider-Man makes a recovery. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like Forward Force is nearly recovered in this position as well. Rev Rod's up next for the Ice Pick, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Rev Rod punches the Cobra forward. The line moves a little bit. Solaire continuing the inexorable march to the front. 5 cars left in the round. Taxi's up, sponsored by Sloth's Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Taxi gets underneath Rev Rod. Rev Rod gets underneath the Cobra, and Copter Chase's rear end starts to slide off. White Fang, sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hanger. White Fang manages to take out the Cobra. Rev Rod just drives down all the cars and gets on the grass to safety. Forward Force still struggling to mount a recovery. Soylent Green waiting till the end to send down Creature from the Black Lagoon, sponsored by Boldemouche. The Creature from the Black Lagoon does a good job of knocking White Fang up into the air and off the track, probably to an elimination. Now that ramp is set up. Seems a little late in the match to set up the ramp, but I think I might know what they were waiting for. Oops All Boat sending down Swamp Rat, sponsored by Carlton Hill Enterprises. Swamp Rat goes for a ride way down the track, bounces and manages somehow to flip it over and right itself. Amazing job there, but it had the unfortunate effect of probably righting Iron Man. So in a way, Creature from the Black Lagoon saved Crimson Crasher's Iron Man. Speaking of saving, looks like Crimson Crashers saved Hammered Coupe for the end, sponsored by Judy Collins. And that's why they did it! Hammered Coupe takes Creature out in one fell swoop! Creature bounces, goes over the edge, tries to mount a recovery, but can't do it, too top heavy, and that's gonna be it for Creature from the Black Lagoon. There was no way to avoid the Hammered Coupe. A masterstroke by Crimson right there, and Soylent Green is gonna suffer because of that. Crimson taking full advantage of the running order to strike that blow. We've got a bunch of close calls. Evil Weevils are on the scene. Buffalo looks to be out. Iron Man scrapes by with a survival. White Fang is gonna be eliminated. Saber confirmed to be sideways in the trash. And a close call for Speed Blaster there, barely surviving the round. 16 eliminations and 4 of them on Soylent Green. Boats lose 1, Metal Machines lose 3, Crimson lost 2, and the Drive-Thru Demons still at 5. Also at 5, the Thunderlords and the Indigo Ice Picks. Hired Muscle loses a big one, Massive Transit loses 2, Wide Body loses 3. We're smashing down the door to round 2 in this epic main event. Lightning Speed starting us off. 3 teams with no eliminations yet in this match. This match feels a little bit more like a finals than it does a main event. So many good teams right here. Maybe the Ice Picks will have another shot at the finals. Skull Crusher. Last round, still thinking about that hit on Creature from the Black Lagoon and how they could not prevent Hammered Coupe from coming down and attempting that elimination. Soylent Green almost rocked right out of this competition. Here comes Captain America. Captain America plows into the 2 cars on the track. Lightning Speed takes a tumble, goes sideways. Skull Crusher gets off the track to safety. That could be a loss for the Drive-Thru Demons. Despite the loss of their beloved retro rig, Hired Muscle are still in this. Here comes the GTO. GTO smashes into the back of Captain America. Captain America not willing to get off the track. And now it's time for Cookie in the Sea Rescue Boat.
I call it a damn fool in a boat.
Sea Rescue Boat, whoa, that was a weird one right there. The Sea Rescue Boat rode over both the cars on the track, stayed straight, and then plowed under Evil Weevil, lodging itself up at the front of the track. Meanwhile, Cookie skitters across the grass. Close shave for Iron Man last round. I think the less cars there are on the field, the more of a chance this thing has of surviving as it slams into the line and pushes Sea Rescue off. Ends up sideways itself, but we know it won't stay that way for long. But the other team's got to be happy knowing that thing can be eliminated. Fuel and Fire. Iron Man gets powered off the track, pushed up in the air, bounces and backs down into an upright position. That's going to be a recovery. Fuel and Fire can't quite keep his rear end on the track. Wide Body Snatchers took some hits last round. 70 Chevy Chevelle now. The Chevelle pops Fuel and Fire off the track. Fuel and Fire takes this opportunity to get free and gonna make it to the next round, looks like to me. Nitro Rider. Nitro Rider pops the Chevelle, stays locked in on the track. We got 4 lined up. The lone survivor for Soylent Green, the only thing keeping them in this match, Roadster Bite. Roadster Bite, ooh, wow, little bounce off the back of Nitro Rider and doesn't manage to get under it somehow, but smart move there anyway, trying to get off the track to safety. We're back around the roster now to the Drive-Thru Demons, Afterblast. Afterblast gets under Nitro Rider, cannot finish him off. Definitely not a good position to be in though. Forward Force narrowly made it out of last round. Ooh, a nice hit by Forward Force. Nitro Rider goes up and goes away, all the way over by the tires. No eliminations there, but the Chevelle is still in danger. Nitro Rider, however, sitting pretty in complete safety. Dr. Strange. Strange finishes off that Chevelle, flips it over, and there's no recovery in sight. Afterblast manages to get off the track to safety. Good hit by Strange, and now the wide body snatchers are in trouble. Next up for the hired muscle, 71 Dodge Challenger. Dodge Challenger's got rid of most of its flat tire problems, but still not very fast. Pushes Strange a little bit under forward force. That could be damaging in the next run. Hovercraft for the boats. Hovercraft does the damage, pushes forward force over and upside down. Gonna be tough to recover from that. Not impossible. And Dr. Strange continues down the track, making eliminations. Solaire wants in on that action. Watch out, here comes the assassin. Solaire takes down the hovercraft in short order. Flips, dips, and tips over, upside down. And now Strange and that Dodge are on the ropes. Solaire poised for another attack. Perfect time to do maximum damage copter chase for massive transit. Boom! Copter chase forces Solaire underneath two vehicles. The Dodge Challenger is out. Strange somehow making a recovery and staying safe right there. But that Dodge got tossed around. Heavy vehicle, too. Dr. Strange definitely used some magic to get out of that one. Chevy Pro Stalker gonna take a shot at Copter Chase. Chevy Pro Stalker gets under Copter Chase, but what is that? How can that even happen? That Stalker goes sideways, lifts up the back of Copter Chase, and the GTO is teetering up front. Typhoon hits the line, knocks the GTO off. Chevy Pro Stalker makes a recovery. Lucky for wide body, GTO flips over upside down. That's going to be an elimination for hired muscle, and Copter Chase is hanging on. Taxi for the drive-through demons. The taxi completes Copter Chase's exit from the track. Typhoon moves up, and the Stalker tries to stay alive. Rev Rod up now for the ice picks. We had a gold Rev Rod back in the day that had some pretty amazing moments, but Rev Rods since then have been in a bit of a slump. So far this Rev Rod, though, doing all right. Here comes Thor. It's the Thunderlord. Rev Rod gets hammered up in the air. Looks like it's going to make a recovery and then gets stuck in a little crevasse down there between the track and the GTO. Without a little more jostling, it looks like that could be it for Rev Rod. 69 Chevelle for the muscle. Chevelle slams Thor. Thor manages to escape most of the damage, and now Typhoon is in trouble. Amazing jump last round. Swamp Rat ready to do it again. Swamp Rat bounces off the back of the Chevelle, goes over and lands perfectly on top of forward force. Actually almost gets forward force in a position where it could recover. Wow, did not expect that. And then Swamp Rat, of course, makes a fantastic recovery. Hammered Coop looking malevolent after the elimination of Creature last round. Hammered Coop gets under a couple cars, but doesn't find as much success as last round. Chevelle is definitely in trouble. Typhoon as well, but now Hammered Coop is curbside. Will we see the elimination of another notorious vehicle this early in the match? Speed Blaster. Speed Blaster rages into the pile. The Chevelle goes wide, actually somehow makes a recovery, pushing into Baby Cookie. Meanwhile, Hammered Coop is in deep doo-doo. Speed Blaster may have just sealed its fate. Dark Rider for the demons. Dark Rider cannot get anywhere. Speed Blaster locked into the track. Solaire cannot move any farther forward. I think running into Captain America up there. So pretty solid line forming. Let's see what Sonic can do. Not a whole lot by the looks of it. A nice push, but not anything big happening. Oh, actually, I changed my mind about that. Solaire is under Captain America right now, and that is a big deal. Spider Machine. The spider just toys with Sonic like it's a fly caught in its web, and Sonic is strung up upside down. Dark Rider manages to get off to safety. Mustang Boss for the muscle. Powerful hit, and it pushes Spider Machine underneath Speed Blaster. Speed Blaster could be in trouble right here. Looks like Solaire might be all the way under Captain America up in the front. Guess the Klingon had fun, back for some more in the rescue boat. Rescue boat jettisons the Klingon and takes off to the right. Gets off the track, but it's a little iffy of a landing right there. Probably a recovery. That Klingon's probably happy he made it off the track this time. Backburner. Ooh, a nice hit there, and Backburner takes it to the Mustang Boss. Mustang Boss does not get burned. Heavy enough to keep from flipping over. That was close. Power Rocket. Power Rocket smashes Backburner way off the track, goes all the way over into the fences, and Backburner cannot make a recovery. That's definitely going to be an elimination for the drive-through Demons. Fantastic hit by Power Rocket, and the Indigo Ice Picks, gotta love that. Final car of the round is Spider-Man for the Thunderlords. Spider-Man did manage to find a way upright in the last round and survive. Spider-Man tries to force Power Rocket under the Mustang Boss, but the Mustang Boss is not having it. And somewhere underneath this pile, Hammered Coop's status is a mystery, somewhere over by Speed Blaster. And there it is, Hammered Coop has been eliminated. That is Sideways. Speed Blaster has done the revenge for Creature from the Black Lagoon. We've got one close call here for Swamp Rat. Looks like Swamp Rat is gonna stay in. Taking a look at the aftermath, Soylent Green managed to stay alive with their one. Oops, all boats lost one boat. Metal Machine still at 2. Crimson lost 1, but it was a big one. Drive-Through Demons lost 2, no more 5 for them. Hired Muscle down from 4 to 2. Thunderlords did not lose a vehicle. Massive Transit did not lose one either. Wide Body Snatcher staying alive with 1. And the Ice Picks down from 5 to just 2 remaining. A lot of shakeups in that round, but amazingly, we are just getting started. A lot of rounds left, and we'll see how this turns out in the next episode of Junkyard Joust. Don't miss it. The main event is the pinnacle of the Junkyard Joust miniature action sports spectacle. Become a Junkyard Joust patron to support the show and see the upcoming previews of the Apocalypse Joust, which is just around the corner. And join the Junkyard Joust Discord if you want to show off your own collection, or talk about the Joust to other Joust fans, or even bet on the matches. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'll see you next time on the Joust.